All right, when to solve this inequality, we have the absolute value of x plus 4 and plus 2 is greater than 10. All right, so because this is an inequality, we also want to graph the solution on the number line and express the solution in interval notation. Okay, so because it's an inequality, there's always two sides, right? And the first thing we want to do is isolate the absolute value. Okay, so the x plus 4, right, that's inside the absolute value. That means we have to move this 2 over to the other side first. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to subtract 2 to both sides. Okay, so by doing so, the 2's cancel out. So we get the absolute value of x plus 4 is greater than 10 minus 2, which is 8. All right, so the whole point of getting the absolute value isolated is from this point, we have to set up two different equations, right? So we see that, okay, x plus 4 is greater than 8. So you notice in this case, we're removing the absolute value symbol, right? So we're looking at the two different scenarios for what the absolute value represents, right? We're going to be on the positive side of 0, so greater than 8, but also on the negative side, right? Negative 8. But because essentially we're multiplying by negative 1, right, the golden rule for inequalities is if we're multiplying by negative, we have to switch the direction of the inequality. So this becomes x plus 4 is less than negative 8. Notice the sign inside the absolute value, this x plus 4, that does not change, right? It doesn't become x plus 4 and x minus 4. Okay? The sign, the number that changes is essentially the value on the other side of the inequality. All right, now we should be able to solve these, right? Let's go ahead and subtract 4 to both sides. So we get x is greater than 4. Okay? And then here when we subtract 4, notice in this case, we get x is less than negative 12. Okay? So when we draw the number line, okay, I'm just going to mark off the 4 and the negative 12. I'm not going to draw every single hash mark in between here, right? So let's take a look. Okay, x is greater than 4. We notice it's strictly greater. So that means I need an open circle on 4. We want to be greater than 4, so we're going to go to the right. At negative 12, we want to be strictly less than that. So I'm going to once again put an open circle here. Because we're less than, we're going to go to the left. Okay. So this is the solution on the number line. And then in interval notation, right, essentially it's just a range of values. Right? Remember, this arrow means that every single value to the left should be accounted for, right? So in interval notation, we get everything from negative infinity all the way up till negative 12. Because it's an open circle, we need a parentheses though. Okay, and then we're going to combine that. Remember, because we're dealing with intervals, we need the u. And then everything from 4 to infinity. So this is the solution, right? Any value that fits between these intervals is going to be a solution to the original inequality.